Hi, and welcome to Thrive Thursday. I'm Mary Beth Landy with the Recruitment Training and Support Center for Special Education Surrogate Parents at the Federation for Children with Special Needs. Welcome to the Federation's daily Facebook live stream. The Federation is open and we are working remotely to provide information and resources for families and professionals who serve them. Today, we're going to be talking about self-care for the senses. What do I mean by that? I mean, many of our children have the need for sensory integrated activities. So we thought we would provide some of those for you today. They're also fun. They can be part of science projects, which helps with their remote learning. So we're going to do a couple of things. First, I'd like to ground everyone who is partaking today in a technique that I call 5-4-3-2-1. I apologize. First, I would ask that you sit comfortably, close your eyes if you're comfortable, and take a couple of deep breaths. In through your nose on the count of 3, and out through your mouth to the count of 3. Let's repeat that. In through your nose for a count of 3, and out through your mouth with the count of 3. Now open your eyes and look around you. What I'd like you to do is to name the following out loud. You can do this, your kids can do this. We will also post this in the chat after the video is completed. But what I'd like you to do is to name 5 things that you can see within or outside of the room. You can look out the window, you can look in another room. So name 5 things that you can see. Now I'd like you to name 4 things that you can feel. Possibly the silkiness of your skin, the texture of the material of your chair. What does your hair feel like? The table, perhaps. Great. Now I'd like you to try and name 3 things that you can hear. Could it be a bird outside the window? Or if you're really quiet, can you hear noise within the room that you wouldn't typically think of? For right now, I'm hearing the space heater behind me because I'm a little chilled. Now name 2 things that you can smell, and hopefully they're not awful things. And finally, name 1 thing that you can taste. Perhaps you've had lunch recently, the taste of toothpaste. If you haven't had something and you want to do this exercise again, possibly having a piece of chocolate around is a great handy candy to have, but you can always go and get something if you need to. Take a couple of seconds to swirl. If you have candy or something in your mouth, swirl it around so that you can really savor the flavor. Now take a deep breath in and slowly exhale through your mouth. And we are done. Today, I promised to do a couple of fun sensory things. And what we're going to do, to many people's surprise, is we're going to make slime today. Slime is something that happens regularly in our house. We, in fact, have multiple options. I keep slime on my desk at all times. It's a great sensory thing to do. It's also great for stress, makes noises. We made slime yesterday. had a class. We have an 11-year-old in the house. So she led a class with some other people and made some orange slime. So we made what's called foam slime. So the ingredients you would need for that, I will also include a list on the chat afterward. You would start with some Elmer glue, and as you can see by the size of this container, we make a lot of slime in this house. So you want to start with Elmer glue. They also sell it in a clear form if you want to do things like glitter or something that's going to show up in the slime. You can also purchase different types of Elmer's glue that may be made specifically for slime. This particular item is blue, but if you put it in the sun, it changes color to purple, and that's because the glue we used is color changing glue. So unfortunately, it is pouring out right now, but it is something I would show you if I could. So you're going to want to start with your glue. You're going to want to have some creamy shaving cream. Least expensive is fine. You don't need to worry about getting good. You don't want the gel type, so you want to make sure that you go ahead and you get shaving cream. You will need baking soda, just your typical baking soda that you can get at any grocery store. And I'm sure, kids, I'm sure mom has it in the cabinet. You will need to have contact solution. The contact solution is your typical saline, multi-purpose saline solution. So you can get that at any pharmacy. And also we like to make our slime multicolored or some type of color. So with that, I also have food coloring. So today it will be red. So I've actually, just to kind of speed things up, have gone and started and scaled out things. So I have my Elmer's glue all scaled out in a bowl. So you also need bowl and measuring cups. I have, doesn't that look like great whipped cream, but it's not. I have the shaving cream, which I'm going to add to the Elmer's glue. And this is a half batch, so this is about 1.5 cups of shaving cream. And I'm just going to stir that and mix that in with the Elmer's glue. And this is, kids, this is a fun experiment that is happening. It's starting to bind up. So it's a great, it counts as your science experiment for the week. Okay. Right now I'm going to take and utilize the food coloring. I'm going to add a couple of drops of food coloring to my concoction at this point. Hopefully it's going to come out red, a bit red and not just pink. But you can go through and add more food coloring in any stage if you want to continue to change the color. And also you want to do this in a non-porous bowl. Make sure that you're not going to worry about ruining your mom's pottery. Okay, so we have that. We will also take and add to this a little bit of tap water. And the reason I'm adding a little bit of tap water is because we're going to add baking soda. And I want the tap water to dissolve the baking soda. So we're going to stir that in. That's going to give a bit of air to the fluff. And that's basically what it looks like right now. As you can see, it looks like pink fluff. And then the final ingredient we're going to take is the saline solution. Now, this is something you can go through and measure out, or you can continue to just to add. It's the stabilizer. It's what's going to bring it all together. So just pour some on in and start stirring. And as it starts to stabilize, it will cause the slime to pull away from the sides of the bowl, and you'll find it getting a little bit thicker and harder to stir. Add more saline solution. I find the ingredients when they list them don't necessarily have as much saline, have you add as much saline solution as you actually need. So this is getting stringy, which means it's starting to bind up. And I hope all the parents out there are following along with this because, of course, you have to make slime too. I use slime actually on my desk whenever I get just a little stressed out or find that I'm looking for what can I eat when I'm really not hungry. It's that I'm bored, which is not that often because work keeps me very busy and having an 11-year-old keeps me very busy. But now I will show you the slime has now come together and formed. Of course, it still needs some more saline solution. So right now it is still sticking to my fingers, but I will add that later. Basically, as you can see, it turns into, as you continue to add saline solution, it will continue to turn into something that looks like this. And I can actually use slime to get slime off my hands. It's a great process. So then you then have slime that you can play along with. You can knead it like a loaf of bread. You can pretty much do anything with it. You do want to keep it in a bag if you're going to keep it for a while, or a Tupperware container, because they do dry out. If you're interested, you can also add things. If you use clear glue, you can certainly go through and add things to make the slime. This is very well-developed slime because it was made by an 11-year-old, as opposed to my slime, which still needs some work. But you can add things like glitter, or they make foam balls that you can add to your slime to add a little texture to it. So that not only is a great activity if you're looking for something to do, but it's also a great science activity, and it is a sensory activity that allows your kids to play with over and over again. So you can order all those ingredients on Amazon, or you can also find them when we get a chance, stores open up, you can find them at Michael's or anything like that. So the last thing that I wanted to go through and show you is an activity that I think will be, it's one that you can reach out and partake in doing, but also it can be a great community activity. And that is making pinwheels. So I have a pinwheel that I created earlier. I used two-sided wrapping paper. Get it in the framing so you can actually see it. It's kind of big. What I've actually done is used a pencil, number 2 pencil, a push pin, a little washer or ball behind here just to keep it, and a square piece of paper. The firmer the paper, the better off it is. That's why I use wrapping paper, because it's a little bit stiffer. I'm going to include the instructions on how to make a pinwheel. But one of the things that makes this a great sensory thing, not only is it fun, but if I can get it right, all right, I'll help it along. My wind is not. The process of having children blow on things, such as a pinwheel or bubbles, is actually getting them to exercise and do deep breathing exercises. The nice thing about pinwheels, and this is something that this is a great weekend to do it, pinwheels are actually Chinese in history, in orientation. They were from the Chinese culture. They date back to the 400 BC. And in China, what they actually mean, they're called wheels of abundance. And it is an instrument to turn obstacles into opportunities, that the winds have the opportunity to change directions and turn something that may be obscure as a pinwheel into something that, as it spins, becomes a beautiful kaleidoscope of colors. So one of the nice things that some people can do, and we're probably going to do this in our household, is make a series of pinwheels for our friends and include with them a little card with a wish, a well wish, that things are proceeding in an upward trajectory for them. And we're going to place them on their lawns with the little notes. Normally, if you want to, you can write the messages of well wishes in the actual pinwheel so that they blow in the wind when the pinwheel spins. And you can place them on their lawn so you can keep social distancing and just let them know that you're thinking of them. So we're going to do that and do that on Easter Sunday, actually, and go drive them around, place them on people's front lawns, and watch them spin around. So those the instructions on how to do those will also be on the our Facebook page as soon as we are done with this. So I appreciate you taking the time to be with me today. It has been fun. Slime is always a good activity. Remember that, parents. And it's easy to clean up. It takes things that are in your house anyway, and not much solution to clean up. If you are looking for something you don't have you don't have the contact solution in your house, you can also use borax, which is a laundry detergent that you can also find in your regular grocery store. So you can do that as well, and there's different recipes for that. So anyway, I hope you've had a great time. And it has given you sparked some creativity, and I hope to see you soon. So thank you and have a great day.